to tweet it, but we will be live. Like this shit is about to be recording right now. So it's 2 seconds and
All right.
Okay, we got that. All right, it's got that. Let me just tweet about it. I'm gonna tag you in it if you want to just retweet that real fast.
Yeah, sounds good.
And then yeah, I gotta shit on Raider Nation today because they completely fucked me, tried to fucking ratio me bad, dude, on that fucking Richie Incognito.
I have a take on that.
We're gonna talk about it at the end. We're gonna talk about that because I mean I didn't word it right. I was very drunk when I tweeted that, but like I was like, okay, like you guys truly have to be able to see what I'm saying. Like here, like
Gruden gives you a little bit of a leash.
Like a lot of a leash, like too much.
Unless you're black, and he doesn't.
Hey,
I'm not gonna.
I mean, hey, I mean it checks out. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Right,
so we're good. Yeah, we're good. We're just gonna start now. So all right, I'm gonna actually record the meeting because then I can upload the audio later. So all right, 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome to Rock Vegas, everybody. This is Glen Rockney, and we're going live today. We're going live, so we're gonna have to be on our P's and Q's here, right? So this is live stream. I got Matt Fallon with me. We didn't get to do a Ravens recap. We will do a little bit of that, getting in there, and then we were going to preview the Steelers and talk about why Raider Nation hates me for my Richie Incognito tweet. So that's probably what we're going to get into right now. So Matt, what about the game on Monday? Like, let me hear your thoughts on the game Monday. What did you like? What didn't you like?
Yeah, you caught me at a good time because I rewatched it this morning.
Yeah.
I remember, but like the second half was a bit of a blur because I was like, okay, I'm getting drunk because we suck. And then it was like, I'm getting drunk because I'm celebrating.
I love it. That's two completely different types of faded too. People forget.
Somebody was like, like Denzel Good came back in the game. And I'm like, bro, I had no idea who was in the game. Like, I was just, my wife was like, why are you acting like this is the Super Bowl? And I said, because the Raiders have lost so many games like this in my life that I am on cloud nine because we finally had one go our way. We had one go our way. And the thing is, after that first half, my initial thought this game was that, wow, we really could have used a preseason.
Yes.
And so they looked so out of sync in the first half. And I had no hope for them at all.
Right.
But except I said, you know what? It's 14-10. They played the worst football I think I've seen. Last year they collapsed, but they still played decent in the first half of games usually. But that was like the worst first half I've seen under Gruden in a while. Like they were so out of sync on offense. Their offense looked like this is going to be a long ass season if we can't get a productive offense out of these guys. He was Carr was locked in on Waller, throwing him into triple coverage.
Yeah.
They were getting pressure on Carr, and he was, not getting to his second or third read. So I wasn't hopeful there. The defense was getting gashed pretty badly, but I wasn't mad at the defense. I was mad at the offense for coming 3 and out every drive. And so I didn't have hopes. But then as a Raider fan, winning a game like that gives me more hope than like blowing a team out because they fought. Yeah. And that's what we want to see.
Yeah. And so what, and here's another thing about, I'll go with how the offense started. Now, what I think happened with the offense was they, for whatever reason, and they did this against Tampa last year, and I believe they did it against Buffalo. They did it against Buffalo too. And for whatever reason, they read Twitter sometimes and see like dumb Raider fans where they're like, come on, Carr, shoot it down the field, bomb it down the field. And we're like, no. The Gruden offense is a timing rhythm offense that works best when you get the underneath stuff. Let your guys get yards after the catch, work Renfro, work Waller. Like, why were they throwing to Waller in the second level at all those times? If you want to work Waller, get him underneath that first linebacker so you don't have to airmail it over the linebacker. Like it was, they realized that in the second half. You saw they made that adjustment, which is the complete opposite. It was the complete opposite of like last year where you'd see them doing that early in the game and then they would completely not make the adjustment in the second half. So that to me was really encouraging because that offense was humming. And I will say that Derek Carr's pocket presence was about as good as I've ever seen his pocket presence
in the second half.
In the second, no, of course. Yeah, it was great. It was great. He stood in there.
Designated Carr hater.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought his second half was phenomenal.
Yeah. And that's what we pay him to do. That's what we want him to do is win the game.
I would love for them to come out and play a good first half where the comeback wins don't matter. But sure. They don't matter to me. Comeback win or win's a win. If you win 42-0 or if you win 42-41, I don't care if he has the most comeback wins in Raider history. I don't care about that. Yeah. But as much as I've talked shit about him, you can't deny that he seems like he gives a shit about the franchise and he wants to win.
Yeah.
Now the defense, this is the first time I could say, you know what, this defense kept us in the game.
Absolutely.
And again, me and you talk about it. We don't need to be a top 5 defense. What we need is a defense that gets pressure and gets turnovers. And they got 2 key turnovers, 14 points off turnovers, and they were hitting Lamar Jackson all day.
Yeah.
And Max Crosby had 2 sacks, but he also had 2 where he gained a half a yard.
Yeah.
Like he should have had 4 sacks.
Yeah, big arm. He long-armed those feet.
Max Crosby, that was my biggest takeaway from this game was if Max and Yannick are on the field, we have a chance.
Yeah. I think overall everybody looked comfortable in the scheme too. Like Trevon Merrick had a bad game, but like I do think he's gonna end up eventually getting used to playing NFL football. Like I could see that end up happening in a couple weeks. I could see him being like, okay, I got this. Everybody else, like Jonathan Abram looked good in the scheme. Missed a tackle early, that's fine, but like Jonathan Abram looked like he was in the right spot. Like these guys looked smart out there. And I will say on the people forget it's the Ravens, right? Now going into this game, people are like, oh, the Ravens are hurt. The Ravens are hurt. Have we looked at the last 2 years, what the Ravens have done on week 1 of the NFL? They've beaten the dog shit out of like pretty good teams.
They hadn't lost an opener in like 8 years.
It was like 92 to 30. They like outscored people. It was like some insane margin. They beat a Cleveland Browns team that almost went to the AFC Championship game last year on week 1. And now it's week 1. But like I was saying at the beginning of the year, if they could split 1-1, and I'm hoping they can win this game against the Steelers, but if they could split 1-1 in these first 2 games, I'm fine with it.
I had it flip-flopped in my prediction at the beginning of the season. I had us losing to the Ravens, beating the Steelers, and now obviously we beat the Ravens, and I have it as a loss against the Steelers just because we're so banged up.
Right.
But
short week.
There's a couple things that I haven't been able to say for years is, okay, our defensive line against their offensive line, we have the advantage there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I really do think that our defensive line is going to have a good day tomorrow. And that's something I haven't been able to say for years against anybody. They're talking about our offensive line kind of being shaky. The Steelers offensive line is very shaky.
It's worse.
They have like less starts on their offensive line than us. The only player on their line that has started a bunch of games is the guard. It's Trey Turner, right?
Yeah, and he stinks.
So, yeah. I mean, if Max Crosby, I thought Fallon played good.
Oh, yeah.
He was getting pressure. And the thing is, it doesn't show up in the stat sheet for tackles, but he was collapsing that pocket and giving Max and Yannick the chance. I thought McCoy was playing good. I don't think that's a huge loss.
No.
If he was changing your season, then you're in trouble.
Javin White type scenario. Yeah. He's a Javin White type player. Yeah.
The Raiders need to get healthy. Like right on Sunday, they're going to be missing Jacobs, Incognito, who I don't think is going to ever play again.
No, I agree.
Good, Denzel Good, Gerald McCoy, Nick Kwiatkowski, who I thought was probably the worst player on the field on Monday night, and that's just me rewatching the game. And he was out of place a lot. He doesn't fit in Bradley's scheme.
I don't think so either.
He's a run downhill linebacker, running up the A gap, tackle the running back. He's not good in coverage. But the way that Bradley's running that cover 3, he ends up in coverage on Sammy Watkins. I thought, okay, if we had Nicholas Morrow, you'd have a better shot there.
Sure.
He still shouldn't be covering Sammy Watkins, but Nicholas Morrow would have been playing where he was playing.
That's just a hole in the cover 3. That's where the cover 3 burns you sometimes.
But you have less holes if you have athletes on the field. And
Absolutely.
So like Morrow or Javin White right there instead of it's still probably a complete pass, but it's at least somebody's going to be in position to make a play, maybe.
Yeah, and that was a dime. Like that was an absolute fucking dime. Like that was a beautiful throw, beautiful catch.
Best throw Lamar Jackson made the whole game.
Yeah,
which and we'll get to on that, but Lamar Jackson, like ESPN was acting like we were playing against Peyton Manning. Yeah. Every time he completed a pass, it was like, oh, the MVP, bro. He won the MVP a few years ago. Like we know he's not the MVP currently.
Right. Yeah, and like again, he's a night. Now, one thing I think the difference between the Ravens and the Steelers, I think a lot of fans are getting this wrong now. I'm not done quite talking about the Ravens, but just comparing the two. One fallacy that I see a lot of Raider fans say is that we almost got a bunch of sacks on Lamar Jackson. Those are going to get home against Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger average time to throw in week 1, 2.1 seconds. He doesn't want to hold the ball for shit. He wants to get rid of that ball. So the key in this game is going to be tackling underneath. You have to tackle Deontay Johnson. You cannot let Chase Claypool get these contested catches. You're going to have to because Ben's going to get rid of the ball. Might get him a couple times. He might go back to old Ben where he tries to scramble and fucking do all that, but he's not going to hold on to that ball very long. So, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure those big deep balls are going to be there, because I hope the Raiders can just get that pressure, keep that 2.1 time to throw, go and tackle. And I was not impressed with their run game. And let's be real, comparing the two offensive lines, the Raiders offensive line's banged up, but the Steelers do not have a Colton Miller. They don't.
No,
they don't.
No, they don't have an anchor on that line.
No, and Miller was the best per PFF, the best left tackle week 1 pass protection. Like he was phenomenal. I rewatched it just to focus on him, and I was like, holy shit, this guy really is like something else. Like, and I had a feeling he would eventually become like maybe an average tackle, but we're looking at a Pro Bowler this year. Like, this is if he stays healthy. He's just fantastic. Which he usually does. Which he does stay healthy. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, and okay, so like Colton Miller was always like, when we drafted him, I was pissed. And, Raider fans love to victory lap me on that, but the Raiders' track record, I'm allowed to be pissed. So
I'll run the victory lap with you. I love it.
I'm happy that Colton Miller turned out to be a good football player. I'm happily wrong. I will happily be wrong on Jonathan Abram. I will happily be wrong on Damon Arnett. Like, I want these guys to be good football players. Now, the latter, the two, Damon Arnett and Jonathan Abram, I don't think are good football players. Mm-hmm. But prove me wrong. Prove everybody wrong, because
absolutely
the national media, they're on the Raiders' neck more than anybody. People like to think, we got these haters in the fan base. Like, they love to tag me and say, you're a hating piece of crap, whatever. But what have they done to prove anybody wrong ever? Like, people are mad that the power rankings have us at 23 still. Well, guess what? Go beat Pittsburgh and people are going to start talking.
Yeah.
And
absolutely,
again, you're 2-0, but guess what? 2 seasons in a row, you've been 2-0. So don't collapse, and people are going to start talking. And like KC, they played a good Browns team, but they didn't look, like unbeatable. Yeah. No, and the Chargers, they played Washington, who barely squeaked out a win against the Giants. The Chargers didn't look unbeatable.
No, they got overhyped. You want to talk overhyped as the goddamn Chargers? I'm like, dude,
and the
Broncos I don't see
played
it.
The Giants, right? So like, I was telling my dad, I'm like, dude, I would have loved to open up the season against the New York fucking Giants.
Absolutely. We get them later, which I like. We get them later in the season.
We play, and there's our schedules. It's I always like hate looking ahead on the schedule, because preseason it's like, hey, Philly, that might be a win. They look damn good, but they played the Falcons, so you just don't know.
Right, yeah.
And then you have like teams like Washington, who now I think we should beat. Miami beat New England, but I think Miami. You got to win that football game. If you want to be a playoff team next year, you have to beat the Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. Like, they're a decent football team. I agree, but you should not be losing a football game to Tua Tagovailoa, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Tua. I just call him Tua because I can't even pronounce it. Tagovailoa. Tagovailoa. Yeah.
Tagovailoa, I believe is the term. But that's
I'm like notorious for not being able to pronounce people's names, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but nonetheless, you're right. You got to beat up on those teams. So I don't even want to look ahead. We're on the Steelers here. I'm with you though. If they can look, if they lose this game, it's not the fucking end of the world. Like, I don't want to see Raider fans like trying to get rid of, we need to get rid of this guy. Okay, look, they're banged up on a short week. It could get ugly. Now I'm down to blown out. Let's win ugly. That's what I'm saying. Like let's go out there and win ugly. If this is a 16-10 game that the Raiders win, I will. Not only will I be like, yes, we won. I'll be like, holy shit, they can win ugly, low scoring games.
This is AFC. This is a classic AFC battle. And I mean, our defense showed on Monday night. It's the first game of the season. There's going to be miscommunications. The 2 touchdowns that they had.
Yeah.
The first one where, their backup running back
Merrigan Littleton blew that one. Yeah.
Yeah. That was just a blown play.
Yeah.
The Raiders had the right defensive call.
Sure.
They just blew the play. And that happens. But what the difference was that they forced a few turnovers. When you get 14 points off of turnovers and you give up 0, you're going to win 90% of the football games. And that's simple. If you win the sack battle, you're probably going to win that game.
Yeah.
A sack to me, like a 10-yard sack,
is
almost as good as a turnover on third down. Like if you get a 10-yard sack, you're putting speaking of turnovers and stuff, man, AJ Cole,
beast.
That guy's a Pro Bowler this year if he keeps this up. But that guy kept us in a lot of games last season, and he kept us in the game Monday night.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, our special teams units, that's the only thing that kept me happy about the Raiders as a kid. And it's continuing. Like they're good.
Yeah.
Like
I think the kick coverage. The actual kickers and punters, the coverage team's a bit like we put so much into special team. I don't think any team has invested like higher picks and
Leavitt is literally on the roster to be a special teamer. And those guys were catching punts and they had 15, 20 yards in front of them with no defensive help.
Yeah. And some of that's cold. Some of that's cold, but like,
play,
some of that's cold.
Make a play.
Mm-hmm. Yes, some of that's out kicking your coverage, but that's fine. Like I'd rather have the guy bombing. I'll give me the chance because, dude, half the time the thing about out kicking your coverage is like how many flags do you see on returns nowadays? I would venture to guess almost more than half you see a flag, illegal block in the back. Like it's insane.
It's a lot.
There weren't any in this one. I think there were actually one on the Raiders, but I don't think there were a lot. But like I see it in like every game, dude. Almost every flag. It's like if you did a drinking game for every special teams flag. Thursday night, you would have had your stomach pumped Thursday night, by the way. Like, with that Giants game, like you'd be tanked. So I don't mind doing that. I'm with you. Carlson, absolute rocket, dude. Like, and I love Daniel Carlson. The first year we got him, they picked him off the scrap heap. His confidence was low, but the last 2 years, I won't trade him for other than Justin Tucker for any kicker in the league.
Bro, it's wild to me that they were gonna when they got the fumble. They were just like, you know what? Let's attempt this 47-yard field goal without even running a play.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't find Carlson, so they had to run a play.
Carlson was taking a shit. Yeah.
Dog, that's wild. That is wild to me. Like the only reason we even saw that touchdown was because Carlson was at the kicking. How can you not find your kicker when he's at the kicking net?
Yeah, I know.
Like that's just such a Gruden thing to hear, dude. Like, where the goddamn hell was Carlson? You know, he's practicing kick because he doesn't think you're just going to go out. You're not going to run a play, run a running play up the middle and get a couple yards.
Yeah. And even then, like I said, these are 2 weeks in a row where I think Gruden could be out coached, right? I don't think he was against the Ravens, to be quite honest. I don't think he was out coached. I think at the end it got a little crazy. Like to me, like let's talk about the Willie Snead throw. What did you think about the Willie Snead throw off his helmet? What did you think? Was that, to me, it's a combined effort.
There's two things. There's two things there. Okay. I didn't know Mariota was hurt, but if he wasn't, I was like, dude, bring Mariota in for the QB sneak.
Agreed. Same with that 4th and 1 that they blew earlier too.
And I didn't know he was hurt. So that's on, that's changed. That changes now.
He's always hurt, by the way. So,
but he's always hurt. Yeah.
And he's not a dependable starting quarterback. I hate to break it to people. Like,
no, and that's why he's not. Yeah. And the other thing is on that fourth. So the fourth, I'll start with that 4th and 1. Horrible play call. Jacobs comes off limping, and you come out and you just run it with you. And they weren't running the ball well at all. Dude, do a play action. Do a freaking flat route to Waller.
Ingold.
You've been throwing it to him the entire game, or run Ingold up the middle, whatever. James got blown up, so I don't think it mattered. But the goal line play calling on that Nebraska that goal line play calling was just pretty putrid, I think, because you come in and you run like a QB sneak with Carr, and I thought he got it.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was worth a review, and people were like, "Well, the refs, why didn't they review?" I think it was Gruden who had to review that, right?
Yeah, I don't hate that he did. To me, I'm just like Derek Carr quarterback sneaking is just like, oh my god, dude. Like that is just not him.
I was thinking like, dude, run like a toss, like because the Ravens had everybody in the box. Run a toss to Kenyon Drake. You paid him $5.5 million,
running back.
Something, right? So then whatever, they come out and Willie Snead's now we're going to run this play to Willie Snead. And then when you see the replay, Renfro was wide open too.
Why not? Why isn't Renfro running that route? That's what
I was going to say.
Why isn't, because that's a beautiful play. I thought that was a fantastic play call.
It was a great play call.
I threw it a little hard, but I think Renfro
Carr got a little hyped up, and he threw that thing 105 miles per hour.
That was a rocket.
Bro, yeah, I mean, like that was like Jamarcus Russell making that throw, dude. Like
you forget how much that. So here's a couple things I thought about. I'm going to get to that play too, but a couple things before that, I kind of forget sometimes. Like I know Derek Carr has a good arm. Like he doesn't have a bad arm at all, but I forget sometimes that he has the absolute like missile sometimes where like over the middle where you're like, holy shit, because he can do it when he steps into the throw, when his footwork's good. Now the two throws to Bryan Edwards. Everyone talks about the throw to Ruggs. That was a dime. He dropped it in the bucket, but Ruggs actually got really good separation on that route. But The throws to Edwards over the middle late in the game.
Those were rockets.
Fucking dimes, dude. Like, oh my God. Like that. So I think he was working off of those to get to Snead, like where he's like, damn, dude. Now to Snead, he's not a very big guy. You have been in the league like 8 years, dude.
Dog, Nebraska's kick. Sorry to interrupt you. Nebraska's kicking an extra point, gets blocked and returned. Does that count as 2?
Yes. Yeah, I think it does in college. It should.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah, you don't see it. I haven't seen that happen. I mean, if any team's gonna do it, that's a Nebraska fucking play to have happen.
Dude? Yeah. I don't know. Dude. Yeah, I don't think Willie Snead should have been like your option number 1 there. Like that's my only problem with it. Like put Brian Edwards or Renfro or Waller in that same spot, and they probably catch it. Willie Snead. But this was my next thing. Willie Snead hasn't seen a pass.
Yeah. From where was he the whole game? Yeah.
In live action.
Ever.
Because he didn't play in the preseason.
Yeah.
He didn't play all game.
Yeah, he didn't play with Carr.
So that's his first live action pass.
Yeah. Weird.
In 7 months. So it's a weird call.
Yeah. Great play call. Just I don't know about the personnel. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
That's why I think cool, you're practicing at the park, like whatever. But live action is totally different. Like, why is Willie Snead not playing in the preseason?
Even if Zay Jones runs that route, I feel happier.
Why is Willie Snead that's my biggest problem right now with Gruden. And I mean, Gruden gets a lot of flack because he is such a character. Mm-hmm. I do think that other coaches don't get as much discredit as Gruden does because they're not as loud and obnoxious as Gruden.
Right.
And I love Jon Gruden when we're winning. When he goes around and shakes everybody's hand after the game, he's proud. There's nothing better. When you're losing, though, the animation and the lies.
The fucking worst when you're losing.
Right. So, last season, when he loses, he starts making his little jokes in his press conference. Mm-hmm. You're like, dude, we fucking suck. Just call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear about.
Yeah, go full Singletary. Just can't win.
I don't want to hear how good we looked on Thursday at practice. You know what I mean? And that's just pretty much what it comes down to with Gruden. But I mean, previewing the Steelers game.
Yeah, let's get to that.
I don't know, man. This is one where I'm expecting a loss, but I really just hope we play a good football game. You know,
I see avenues towards a win though. I do. Okay. The betting line is at 6. I'm not touching it. I'm just telling you that much. Steelers -6. I'm not touching. I normally don't bet the spread in Raider games. I'll usually take the over. I'm not even touching the over in this one. I actually would. If the over's 48, and I don't see it personally. But
no, I teased it. I teased the under.
What'd you get it at? 44 or something? 45?
The under teased was 52 or something. I took under. I teased it. 7
teased it to get under. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's the only bet I have going on that game. And I have Derek Carr's completions because last week it was 23.5.
Yeah.
And he killed that. He had 38.
Great point in the chat. Sorry, we have a live chat here. This is actually a great point. This is from Diego Lopez. And I do think Gruden thinks this way. He's very much like a storyline guy. Willie Snead getting the game-winning touchdown against his former team.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yeah. I think I shout out Diego because I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, after the game, he'd be like, yeah. Willie.
Yeah, nice catch quarterback. Nice catch balls from Derek Carr instead of Lamar. Just shit like that. Goddamn, that's a good.
He's such a cheese ball.
He thinks that way, dude. He thinks that way. He's very Rudy, those type of movies type guy. That makes entire sense why he was on the field and probably the first read on it. But so in the Steelers game, they do match up. I was not impressed with Najee Harris. I was not impressed with their offensive line when I was watching because they had that game on nationally in the morning. I was watching that game.
I watched that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was not impressed with the Steelers offense. I don't think the Bills have that good of a defense. I think they're solid. I think they're a little bit better.
And the Bills offense.
Yeah. You can't hold on to the ball that long.
It's severely overrated too, in my opinion. Josh Allen makes plays. Stephon Diggs is awesome.
Yeah.
They don't have a good run game.
And I think Carr's a better matchup because Carr just gets rid of the ball. Josh Allen was trying doing way too much.
Yeah, and the Steelers had a good game plan. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how they basically were taking away any big play by the Bills, and they were making it where basically the Bills would have to cut them 100 times to get down the field. And Josh Allen kept trying for the home run, and they were taking it away up top. So the way to get rid of that is the Raiders take what they give you, run those 6-yard routes to Waller.
Take everything.
We're not going to run the ball well tomorrow. I can almost guarantee
that's why I don't care that Jacobs is even hurt. I know I'm just like, whatever. Yeah.
However, the Raiders' run game, me and you talked about this a million times. Yes, our run game stunk last year. Yes, it stunk Monday. But what they need to do instead of running the ball is the 4-yard route to Renfro, the 3-yard wheel route to
That's a run game.
The 4-yard slant. Give my boy Ruggs a slant, dude.
Jet sweep,
like anything. So I do think that people like the run game in 2021 in any team is not just running the ball. As much of an oxymoron as that is, there's no definition that like you have to hand the ball to the running back to have a successful run.
Agreed.
Game. A run game should be we're getting 3, 4, 5 yards to make third down easier. So the Raiders, they run that West Coast offense where they should be 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. And in the first half on Monday night, it was 3rd and 9. And then they got into the fourth quarter and it was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. And like he has so many options on 3rd and 2. He doesn't have a throw a Waller over the middle. That's his playbook when it's 3rd and 11.
Yeah, I agree. So you're looking at like, for me, it's exactly that point. I actually think there's no better team in the NFL. And actually, I think the stats prove this on 3rd and 4 or less. I don't think there's a better team in the NFL about converting that.
But we're horrible on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 for some freaking reason. Because he always runs the same run play up the middle. Yeah, he never does anything else.
Yeah,
they're terrible on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1.
And you know who I expect to be an absolute fan. So this is interesting. What Gruden said in his conference. Now this could be a bluff. He's known to lie in his press conferences. But now a lot of people. I'm a fantasy owner of this player as well as Josh Jacobs. But I have Kenyon Drake starting this week, right? But Gruden's saying Peyton Barber's getting the Jacobs carries, right? That's his like burly back that he's going to say. I don't know how much that's true, but here's what I do if I can't run the ball. Kenyon Drake did a nice job catching the ball out of the backfield for the Raiders on Monday. Do that on early downs. It's like a guaranteed 4 yards.
How many carries did Jacobs have on Monday?
Like
12?
I think it was 10 or 12.
So I mean, if Peyton Barber gets 10 carries, that's not a ton of carries.
Mm-hmm.
But I would prefer to see like Trey Ragas, Peyton Barber doesn't do anything for me.
No.
You're going to get like, I have this like really deep dynasty league that's like 16 teams. So like,
he's that guy. Yep.
I am going to put Peyton Barber in there and hope he gets a touchdown because I can see it.
He's getting the goal line carry. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to address Najee Harris a little bit. I thought that he got 100% of their snaps. He got hit like in the backfield, like every play.
Yeah.
The Raiders defense, they actually stopped the run fairly well. I thought. Like they gave up some really big chunk plays, but there was no they weren't getting 8 yards a carry. Like when we in the past where we played a team with a good run game.
Like the Pats last year. Yeah.
Granted, they lost J.K. Dobbins and granted they lost Gus Edwards. Like they were running, they run Latavius Murray out there and he's never even practiced with the team. So, I mean, they weren't going to run the ball well. Everybody knew that. But Lamar Jackson could easily go for 100 on you. And he's the running back. And they were, besides a few, there was a few, off-script plays that they ran with Jackson. Like, he had, one where Max Crosby and Yannick were in the backfield, and he ran for 14 yards.
Yeah.
You can't stop that.
And that's not happening this week.
That's Lamar, but that's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, you will not see that for the rest of the year. I'm sorry.
That's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
he's going to do that. So the fact they bottled him up, I don't know off the top of my head how many rushing yards he had, but it was not a lot.
Yeah. No.
And it wasn't impactful is what I'm trying to say. It wasn't it wasn't 35 yards of drive of Lamar Jackson just running. And in the past, I've had Raiders defenses that just looked terrible against mobile quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't think of any games off the top of my head, but anytime we faced any quarterback from 2010 to 2020 that could run the ball, we would get our ass kicked.
Absolutely. And so what I would say, actually, there's stats to back up your claim on stopping the run well. The Raiders had the number one, I want to say it is, run game win percentage by their defensive linemen. That's just beating the blocker in front of you in the run game and winning, right? So that's encouraging against a team like the Steelers, who they spent a first-round pick on Najee Harris. They're going to try to work him. I mean, that just is what it is. Now, I will say again, you have to just tackle these wide receivers underneath. They have a good wide receiver core. I don't think Ben's very good. I think they're doing a disservice by still having him as their quarterback, but he's a smart quarterback. The brain is still there. I
think Claypool's going to kill us.
He might. I'm just saying, like he might, but you gotta have safety help over the top. You got to work that zone. I think Deontay Johnson's actually kind of a tougher matchup just because I think Deontay Johnson could sit down in that zone, run a dig route, and then just take off on you. And what's that young, was it Freiermuth? He's actually pretty solid too. He's a solid rookie, but he's a rookie. We shut down Mark Andrews. We shut down Mark Andrews. Absolutely. Last week.
Andrews actually, dude.
And he's a stud.
Actually, I think he lost them the game. He had a couple crucial drops.
Abram, hell of a play on him. I mean, it was a hell of a play.
I mean, dude, like that's the one guy, like just bouncing back to the Ravens game really quick. That's the one guy that like I've been really hard on that, like, to me, like I saw you talking to somebody about it and it was like, or that was James. And he was like, he didn't play great, but he played okay. And this guy was like, Hager, he played great. No, he didn't play great. But the fact that Abram played okay is a million miles ahead of last year. He had a couple
liability,
He had a couple brutal like misses, but he had more good plays than he had bad plays. And I don't know, there was not one game last season where I could say Jonathan Abram had a good game.
Yeah.
So I was ecstatic with him, and I think like going into the Pittsburgh game, something I wanted to talk about was the matchups that we have against them. And so Juju's going to be in the slot most of the time. Yes. I think I was reading last year he took 62% of his snaps from the slot. And Hobbs, I didn't hear Hobbs' name.
No.
At all.
No, which is good. That's good. That's great.
If you're a slot receiver, you should not know, like most teams, you should not hear your slot receiver's name very often.
Slot
this
corner,
guy, Spencer Rattler, is kind of trash, bro.
I hate Spencer Rattler. No. But
he just like he's talking trash to this.
He sucks. Defense. He sucks.
So Nate Hobbs on Juju, okay, and hopefully like Juju's going to get like usually like 4 to 6 receptions. Hopefully you can limit him on third downs, and then you have, I believe it's going to be Mullen on Claypool and Hayward on Deontay Johnson. Now Hayward had a great game, but you got to keep in mind the Ravens don't have a great receiving core.
Yeah,
but if you can isolate, let one guy beat you. Like let Deontay Johnson beat you a little bit. Mm-hmm. But if you can keep it from being just like, hey, all three guys are getting 80, 85, 90 yards, I think they can win the game. And it goes back to, again, like Freiermuth, like he might get a few catches, but limit the big play, like you said. Hold Najee Harris to maybe like 3.5 yards a carry, and you can win the football game. But like I don't think we're going to score more than 25 points.
I don't even think they get 25. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be it's going to be a classic AFC battle, and I think like the Raiders have a chance. It's going to rely heavily on the pass rush.
Yeah,
and you have to hit Big Ben early.
Mm-hmm.
Hit him hard, like Al Davis said. Right?
Yeah, let's get Haskins in the game. And
bro, if we lost to Dwayne Haskins, bro, I think I would have to stop watching football.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm like, anyways, so you have, I agree with you there. Now I will say, like, again, just limit the big play. Cause even in years past when the Raiders, cause you ever remember as like a Raider fan where you'll be watching the game and you'll be like, okay, this defense isn't brutal. And then all of a sudden backbreaker. And you're like, oh my God. And then the floodgates open. It's never just the one big play. And that's what I was encouraged by in the Ravens game was after that Tyson Williams touchdown on 4th and 1, they didn't let that happen again. It wasn't like, okay, now here's a turnover by the offense and then another big play and now all of a sudden we're down 21-0. Like, we're like, holy shit. Like, that didn't happen. And now if you look, there might be a big play by the Steelers. There might be a big play, but it's all about damage control. And now you're going to have to get a turnover. Try to make the field shorter. This Raider fans, we're used to not making teams work. Like, we're used to
like getting a 30-yard drive on the last drive of the game, like instead of a 100-yard drive, like
100%. Exactly.
Carl Nassib did.
Beast, LGBT, let the flag fly. I love it.
Flying the rainbow flag.
Absolutely.
Like,
I know. Yeah, you should. If he gets another sack, you should Photoshop that picture of you running around the block with a rainbow flag.
Bro, my wife got even the better video of me. Like, I'm like just browned out, running down the street screaming. It's 9:30 at night. My HOA is so pissed.
Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever. Oh, that's a good flex that you have a HOA house, by the way. Nice flex, nice rich guy flex there, but
right, yeah, dude.
But yeah,
I hate having an HOA, dude. Every time if I'm holding the hammer out front, bro.
I have
like,
guess what? Guess what? I have a landlord. So anyways, I'm not allowed to have plants on my balcony. Yeah, but anyways, the guys who are the big plays, limit the big play and help out Alex Leatherwood. Alex Leatherwood needs help. It's not a bad thing. It does not mean Alex Leatherwood's a bad player. He's going up against an absolute cyberg at defensive end, and TJ Watt.
Foster Moreau should be over there.
Foster Moreau should not even run routes.
No, he should be out there the entire game, and then maybe you have like an all-out blitz, and you just do a little curl to Foster Moreau for 83 yards.
Carr is very good at that stuff. I don't know why teams blitz Carr. I don't understand it.
We ran a screen a couple years ago against Denver. I don't know if you remember with Darren Waller.
Yeah.
And it was like an 80-yard play. Run that play on Watt's side with Foster Moreau.
Yeah, I'm with you. Or just something like I'd like help him out, max protect all game. That's fine. You have weapons. Work Waller. They're gonna look. They have Minkah Fitzpatrick, who actually. There's a take by a lot of film guys that like Minkah might not be as what he's billed to be. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of makes a lot of lapses in coverage, makes big plays, but he's kind of like a who's like a good corner, like a Marcus Peters. You know what I mean? Where like he'll be like, okay, huge play, then toast the next play. He's one of those type of guys. But they have Devin Bush. They're gonna have guys who can run with Waller. Let's just say that much. Now you're gonna need Brian Edwards, Henry Ruggs. Where you at? I saw people saying they're streaking down the field all the time. That's a bit much hyperbole.
I hate those videos.
Yeah.
And this is from somebody that has had his fair share of licks, not super Carr supportive all the time.
Yeah.
I hate those videos where they show, or the still pictures where they show a guy running down the field.
Right.
But they're not really showing what's happening at the line of scrimmage. Like, okay, like, yeah, Derek Carr's running to his left. He's got four defenders in his face. He's not going to find Henry Ruggs 60 yards down the field.
And step into a throw and get it done.
Right. Actually, on that last play of the game to Zay Jones, people were like, what a horrible throw. It just floated. Dude, he had two guys in his face. He's on his back foot.
That was a great throw.
Dude, I mean, like, honestly, that's like I'm surprised the ball even got there. Like, he was under pressure right away.
Yeah. That was a great throw. I mean, he was wide open, but it's a tough throw. You can easily either overthrow that or underthrow that. And
right. I was thinking it was going to be underthrown and picked off when I saw the play happen.
Yeah.
Like live, you know.
But Humphrey just started exchanging jerseys with the rest of the team. Like, hey, nice. I'll see you guys next time.
Had a weird game because he got beat a lot, and he's one of the best corners in football.
And he belongs in federal prison for assault, by the way, too, for beating the shit out of every wide receiver on the team.
I don't like to bitch about stuff like that because, like, I mean, I like hard-nosed football. But like that, there's no room for that, dude. Like you got a guy that's not even near the play, just hitting dudes, and like that's like you could take that stuff out of the game, and I'm fine. Like it's not 1972, bro.
Yeah,
like
these guys make money.
Football, but if Renfro has the ball in his hand or the ball gets picked off, you want to lay a block, go ahead. But it had nothing to do with the play.
Yeah, they only got him one time for that, and I don't even think it was him. I think it was Tavon Young that they got on that.
Patrick Queen got
Patrick Queen.
Yeah.
Who's not a Pro Bowler yet.
Was not even as bad as the Humphrey one. Queens was like I thought was like the worst call of the game, and like not to bounce back all the way to the Ravens game again was that Edwards PI because that's when we had all the momentum, and it was like, okay, we're going down, we're tying this game.
Awful.
And it was just like even the announcers who usually are just kind of anti-Raiders, they were like, I'm not even sure what the ref was looking at there.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bounce back really quick because I didn't comment on it when you're talking about, okay, like the Steelers and big plays and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm okay with giving up like on Monday, giving up the one big play.
Yeah, it'll happen.
But I don't what I'm so used to seeing is like 17, 17, 17, 17 touchdown.
Yeah.
And we didn't see that. Like the Ravens didn't have any drives where I was like, the defense looked awful there.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have any like 3rd and 14 conversions where you're pulling your hair out.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the hell did we give up a touchdown there?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the Raiders overall did really well with not making any stupid boneheaded plays.
Yeah. 9 of 12 on 3rd down too. Phenomenal.
Yeah. And you can't stress enough like how many boneheaded plays cost them a playoff appearance last year. whether it's a misassignment. And I mean, it's been one game, and I'm not going to get my hopes up too much, but they're already up, bro. I got the Hawaiian shirt on today.
Like, well, my hopes are low. That's why I'm excited. That's the thing. Like, my hopes were low for the defense. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the fact is, it's been one game, and I saw just night and day compared to the Paul Guenther defense.
Absolutely.
Paul Guenther, like, I'm sorry, dude. If I ever see you, I'll buy you a beer, but you're a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy had no business being – and that's on Gruden. That's where I get mad at Gruden, man. He's loyal to certain people to a fault. Like, he fires Buckner and hires Rod Marinelli, which is not a horrible move.
I think it works now, but it didn't work with Guenther.
But it's not a horrible move. But what did Buckner do to lose his job?
Yeah.
Right.
Especially with those young linemen that maybe like came into the league with him. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're going to go ahead and keep Paul Guenther. Like, he should have fired him after the last season prior. And then he comes out opening night last year and gives up 31 points to the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, what is this guy? Like, why is this guy our coach right now? Why is he even in the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
And it made zero sense to me at the time. And then we went the whole season with them, and it just continued to just the defense got worse throughout the season. You have this young defense that's not developing.
Yeah.
You have all these first round picks, and we'll get to that. But Cleveland Farrell on the sidelines now, and you got first round corners just getting burnt left and right. And it's not all the players. Like, these guys all had, like, Farrell included, had a first round grade. They all had first round grades.
Yeah, you like a late
none
first.
None of these guys were like, oh, we took, besides Tanner Muse, but none of these guys were like, hey, you know what? We had this guy, we took him 57 spots higher than he should have been taken. They were all like maybe 10 spots higher, whatever. And they just did not develop. And that's at some point you have to take a look at the coaching staff, and it's not on the players. And it seems like the players are buying into Gus Bradley. I saw him hyped up on the sideline more than I've seen, ever. And they looked like they were having fun. And that's a big part of football. It's like, you got guys out there having fun.
Yeah. One, like, Gus Bradley said it himself. He said, look, the biggest thing he saw when he came into the team, he said, I see some like decent players on this team, but I didn't see anybody going for the ball. And when you're not comfortable in your scheme, you're not trying to make that extra turnover on a guy, like, where you're not confident. You're just trying to make sure you're not screwing up. So then that way you can't make the play that we need to make the play to make a short field for the offense. And he said, after week one, he said, look, the best thing about this is I saw guys going for the ball, and we got the ball. And that's what I'm seeing. That's why I'm excited. Okay. It's okay.
They had 4 fumbles. The Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, I know. Lamar fumbled just like on his own. Like, and I was like, damn it, dude. That was such a Raider thing where I'm like, the ball hits the ground and nobody's there.
Hit the guy in the chest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's fine, but it set the precedent. So you're going to need to do that this week. You're going to need to do that against wide receivers, Najee Harris, maybe. You're going to need to do that against these guys. Strip that ball out, put the ball on the ground, put pressure on this team. Even if they lose like a hard fought battle, I'm not going to be, I'll be mad. I'm always mad when they lose, but I'm not going to be like fucking doomer mode, like where the city's smoldering behind me. I'm not like that. They're going to have to do that.
If this is a close loss or something,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to be ecstatic. After the game. During the game, I'm going to be cussing up a storm.
Absolutely.
But my wife gets cracked up because I say, like, after every game, I'm like, man, we should have won that goddamn game. Every game.
I know.
So that's what I'll do. I'm sure I'll say, well, if we made this play, we would have won, or if we made this play, we would have won. And
sure.
But it comes down to it, dude. You make plus football plays.
Yeah.
And that's what I didn't see on Monday. It was like so like on offense, right?
Yeah.
There was last year, there were so many times where we'd come out, it's 1st and 10, we lose 6.
Yeah.
First and 10, we lose 4. Or we get a 10-yard holding penalty. There was a few of those in the first half where we finally made a good play and there's holding on the offensive line. Or Leatherwood had a couple brutal penalties, and he's young, but
it's a tough 2-game matchup for Leatherwood to start your career. That's a tough. You're going against.
It doesn't get much better.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But it's tough. I'm just saying, like, I would rather go up against the Jacksonville Jaguars week 1 if I'm Alex Leatherwood. That's all I'm saying.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, other teams get that. Some teams don't. I'm just saying it's tough. I'm not going to be. He doesn't look like Colton Miller against the fucking Seahawks in London. Is all I'm saying.
No, you want to talk about a couple bad teams, dude? Jacksonville.
They're going to pick one again and trade the pick if they're smart.
Because I watched that whole game. Lawrence didn't look that bad. Like, he made a couple really bad throws, but he made the throws where you're like, okay, that's why he was the number 1 pick.
No, Urban Meyer sucks. Yeah, that's what the problem is. Yeah.
That guy's he's gonna walk and go to USC, I think.
I don't think so, because he could have had it last year if he wanted it. They would have got rid of. He's gonna go. He's gonna go to Notre Dame eventually.
Bro, this dude from Oklahoma just made this one-handed interception.
Yeah,
it was the fucking craziest play I've ever seen.
Yeah, but
it makes Odell Beckham look like crap.
So last thing I want to talk about today. The last thing I want to talk about is I had a tweet that got me in a little hot water with Raider Nation. I did not word it well. A couple beers deep, it happens. Okay, so let me just have the floor for a second and defend myself on this. And I know you have a take on it too. Let me just defend myself on what I said, because all right. So what I had said was that I said this, and I should have included some caveats because fans attacked me. And to be fair, some of them had good points. The Richie Incognito. I don't think he's ever going to play for this team again. He might. I mean, I'm just saying he might. I don't think he's ever going to play for this team again.
I said it 3 weeks ago.
And last year, he was like a week-to-week guy to start the year. They were like, "Oh, dude, like Richie's coming back, dude. Watch." And then all of a sudden, he's IR'd. Like, and it's not his fault. I agree, that's not his fault. But I was never super on the Trent Brown fucking is like the biggest cancer in the world. I was never that guy either. So some people will say, I said, well, why was Trent Brown having such an army against him? But now, what I will say is, yeah, it's not fair to attack Incognito because he does try his best. Okay, he does try his best. He's also 40 years old with the track record, and he wasn't paid that way. The contract matters. I agree. I didn't mention that in the original tweet. But what I am saying is that this team clearly thought he was going to play. This team clearly thought Richie Incognito was a starting left guard, and they felt comfortable making Andre James a starting center because they had a left guard next to him to actually make him like, oh, now I can help out my center, this young center. And Andre James needs it. He was getting ragdolled. Like, he needs it. So this team, it's just bad team building. Again, it's not fair for me to attack Richie Incognito. It wasn't. I was trolling a little bit, honestly, like, to be fair. But it's not fair to say, like, okay, and then people go, oh, John Simpson. John Simpson's is the guy. John Simpson was supposed to be the right guard over Denzel Good. It was supposed to be Incognito and Simpson and James in the middle, and we would have worked with that. But even then, if Incognito does go back, how many offensive linemen play 16 games, especially when they're 40? Andrew Whitworth is a unicorn. That doesn't happen all the time. That you don't bank on that. Trent Williams missed a few years. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't happen.
And then he gets, and the good linemen are hard to find, so people give them more of a break.
Yeah. I'm not saying the Raiders are fucked. I'm just saying it's weird team building. And your point, which I loved, was, why are we drafting guys like Tanner Muse in the third round instead of developmental guards last year, to where this year you have Simpson, you have all these young guys that can get out there and play. It's bad.
You and I have talked about it a million times. We've talked about it a million times with the mid-round picks. You need to take some developmental players.
Yeah.
And they might not start right away, but the guard out of Tennessee this year that went in the third, like, he's going to be a decent football player.
Yeah. Kendrick Green, guys like that.
You have a guy that, okay, maybe he comes in too early and he doesn't play well, but you know what? He might develop into a good football player.
Yeah.
And it's just time and time again, the Raiders make that mistake where it's like, why were we picking two project players in the third round that you're like switching their positions, but you're traditionally not very good at doing that.
Right.
And so draft a guard, play him at guard, and now you have a little bit of depth.
Yeah.
And that's it. And so now they're stuck. Now they have a guy playing guard that signed with the team 2 weeks ago.
And bless his heart, he fucking played great for a guy that did that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Luminor. Bless his heart.
He's been on 4 teams in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
It is what it is. But
yeah, you didn't bank on that. That was an emergency signing. Like, yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like we signed him because Incognito wasn't healthy. And
yeah, that's what I mean. It's all these moves you shouldn't have to make, is all I'm saying.
And it goes downhill. So like it started with, okay, we're cutting our 2 starting guards.
Yeah.
From last year.
And to be fair, yeah. And Trent Brown. Yeah, and Trent Brown. The thing, like, let me talk about Trent Brown. Whatever, he's gone. Everybody got their laughs. He has his little ice pack looking sad as fuck, like the big fat kid on the sideline for the Patriots. I laughed a little bit too. But like, my thing was, last year, people were always saying, like, man, why it made more sense to think that Trent Brown was going to be around than Incognito to be around. It made more sense. I'm sorry, Trent Brown's like 30 years old. I know he gets hurt a lot, but you're paying him a lot of money, and it made more sense to not draft. People killed us for not drafting Tristan Wirfs last year. And like, instead, I'm like, that wouldn't have made sense to draft Tristan Wirfs last year with a $20 million right tackle. It just wouldn't have made sense. I roll the dice a lot more with a guy like Trent Brown than I do with a 40-year-old guard coming off an Achilles injury. That's all I'm saying. Just think about it in your head. I understand Richie Incognito has been a great guy for this team. We don't pay guys to be fucking coaches. I'm sorry. We have coaches. So
but we do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Good teams don't.
Like,
Jason Witten and shit like that. People, you don't understand the experience that they taught those guys. Yeah, Foster Moreau's going to say even Foster Moreau said for a long time, Jason Witten didn't even want to share anything with him in a press conference. He was like, dude, like Jason's kind of tough. You can't just like pick his brain and shit. Like, yeah, because he wants to get your snaps, dude. Like, of course. Yeah, so I'm saying a coach is a coach because a coach isn't going to play over you is what I'm saying. Like Darren Waller didn't need mentorship last year. Darren Waller is literally a mentor for like drug. You got Max Crosby looking good. Like Darren Waller doesn't need a mentor. Like that's all I'm saying. And so like, look, you and other people were saying, oh, we have 4 quality starting guards. Most teams don't have that. Who are they? Denzel Good is not even Denzel Good is not a starting quality guard.
I don't think we had one.
We did. He's 40 years old and he's fucking coming off an Achilles injury. So that's all I'm saying.
Good, but here's what I'll say is Denzel Good. He came in and he was off the scrap heap.
Yeah, it was
just like I can't forget Jermaine Eleanor or whatever his name is. Illuminor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He
was fine.
Same concept. Denzel Good didn't have a ton of starts coming into Oakland, Las Vegas. But he became a capable player, and he was a good person to have on your team. So maybe we're getting the same thing here, and it's a similar concept. You're getting a guy that's coming on his like 4th or 5th team, just like Denzel Good was,
right.
And you're hoping that maybe he turns into a rotational guy.
Yeah.
Next year, you don't want him as your starter, but you might bring him in as the 6th guy, like they did with Good. Now, the thing that stands out to me, and I love hot takes, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Gruden gives a little more leash to white football players. And,
oh, shit. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to say it, dude. I'm going to call a spade a spade.
You don't think it's just a veteran situation? Like a grizzled veteran?
I don't think so, dude. Lynn Bowden gets 6 practices cut because because his grandma had guns at her house.
Yeah, and because he was drafted to pass block, and he was a quarterback, and he was a quarterback. He was a fucking quarterback in college.
Then you have like Trent Brown, Richie Incognito. Okay, I agree. Okay, Richie Incognito came back on a pay cut. He's cheaper, whatever, but he's still taking up a roster spot. Okay,
yeah, they thought he was going to be the starting guard this year.
If Trent Brown was. Like Trent Brown is lazy. Yeah. He's done his own thing. It's his fault too. Like I get that, but Gruden, like Damon Arnett, dude, like his leash is short. Everybody's like leash is short except for fucking Dallin Levitt, who's blown 1 million coverages. Guess what? White. I'm just saying it, dude. I don't get
I mean, like, my thing is like, okay, I'm not going that far, but I'm also not disagreeing with you.
Like, I'm half joking, but at the same time.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get bald eagle. You're going to get bald eagle. If Alex
Ingold goes out and gets a DUI tonight,
yeah,
he's playing Sunday.
Yeah. If
Henry Ruggs goes and gets a DUI tonight, he's cut.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Henry Ruggs is cut, but I see he's benched for a game. I give you that. Yeah. But I'm laughing at you because I already can tell that if this gets any kind of traction, maybe I'll just clip this one thing and put it out on Twitter. But you'll get bald eagle Raider with the dead zombie guy like eye patch thing like
it'll be like his name's his first name and his birth year.
Richard and his phone number will be his Abby.
Richard Smith 1976 says fuck you. That's what it'll say.
Yeah, stop the steal. Yeah, and then you'll see like you'll get those guys on you. But no, I mean, look, Gruden grinder always meant white guy. Let's be real. And I'm not like that to me, like that's not even the problem. It's like if let's put it this way: if Richie Incognito is Mr. Team Leader guy and all that kind of stuff, why couldn't you have just signed another guard and been like, hey, Richie, compete it out with him in practice?
That's cool. That's cool and all, dude.
But, why couldn't they have done that? He came back. Yeah, he came back at league minimum. So it's like, hey, you're making league minimum. So I obviously don't value you that much. So I'm going to sign another guard or draft another guard, and you got to compete with this guy. And what if Richie Incognito says no to that? Then you say, fuck it. Sorry, dude, you're 40. I don't care. That's what
hire Richie Incognito as an assistant offensive line coach then.
Yeah, I know. Oh, dude, Richie Incognito and Tom Cable would be an insane, like, Sons of Anarchy.
Don't get in my face. I'll punch you right in the mouth.
Dude, holy shit. Like, remember when that Browns player took a swing at the Chiefs coach on the sideline? Never happening to the Raiders. Yeah.
Bro, I thought that player was right.
Me too. Yeah. A coach
push me,
like,
dude.
yeah, no, never. Like, that's like when Mike Tomlin nudged his hip out to stop the punt return for a touchdown. Like that. I'm like, dude, you have no business doing that, and you take anything that comes to you after that.
I can't remember what happened on that. Did they give him a touchdown?
No, so he didn't get the touchdown, but I think they got like a crazy, like, unsportsmanlike penalty. Tomlin ejected. I think they got the ball because it was way down the field. I think they ended up getting a half the distance penalty and probably scoring. But if they didn't score, that would have been like the craziest move ever.
Bro,
like,
I'm thinking, like, if you're losing the Super Bowl,
yeah, you
run
try
out,
it.
run out and tackle the player before he gets in the end zone. Like,
well, how many coaches can tackle a punt returner? Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe Gruden if his
Brian
adrenaline
Flores.
was running.
Brian Flores.
I think Dan Campbell.
Yeah. No, Dan Campbell would just have like a Scorpion Mortal Kombat thing that would just get over here. Like, he would just have that. Yeah. But
so
that's
I think that, like, overall though, dude, like, I've been like kind of harsh on the roster.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders have enough talent to win football games.
It's a playoff team. It's a playoff roster. You can win with this roster.
You have to win these AFC games though.
Oh yeah.
Last year, that's what happened. They had a couple brutal losses. They were to the teams they were in a race with. Miami, you can't lose the games to people that are, Oklahoma's imploding. The kick returner just picked the ball up. The ball's rolling out of bounds and walks out.
And they're moving to the SEC. You're telling me they're moving to the SEC? Okay.
And then Rattler's complaining, like, bro, you're the problem, bro. You stink.
He sucks. I'm telling you. Yeah. But
no, so, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm happy with the team. I think that, like, there's some injuries that hurt, but I tweeted this and people, again, I'm happy you got a taste of my medicine. Because I tweet stuff and it's right. Okay. Like today, Josh Jacobs is a bit overrated by this fan base. That is not a hot take. His yards per carry stink. He makes he's not fast. So when he's not going to, break a 55, 60 yarder all the time. And I think he's a better pass catcher than people think.
Yeah, I actually think he's good at that.
He just doesn't get enough targets, but
right.
He's not that versatile for the team. And like, he's not getting a second contract unless it's a really cheap one.
I hope not.
And
I wouldn't want to, even if he was good. I just don't want to pay him. Yeah.
That's why I don't pay running backs.
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah.
One of the things I tweeted was that I think that Denzel Good and Gerald McCoy, as much as it hurts, those injuries should not ruin your season.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Your season rides on Denzel Good and Gerald McCoy.
Remember Mario Edwards Jr. in 2016? Dude, if we just had Mario Edwards Jr. in 2016, bro, like, if he didn't get hurt in preseason, like, we would be so good. I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like, they still had a good turnover-worthy defense there, but, like, I was like, I don't know how much Mario Edwards Jr. is moving the needle. I'm with you on that. So, like, there are, like, only 3 or 4 players on this team that I think that get injured. It's Carr, Waller, and probably Crosby, I would say, right now, if we're going off of week 1. I don't even know about that. Like,
I think if we lost either starting corner, that would be brutal.
Hayward would be a tough one, which it could happen. He's not a young guy.
Yeah, and like, I mean, if Yannick is out, that hurts because
he's playing. Gruden said he's playing, so
yeah. I'm just saying future if he ends up missing time. I think like that pass rush was the most exciting thing I've seen in 5 years.
Reminds me of the Tommy Kelly thing, but with better coverage on the back end. The Tommy Kelly, Richard Seymour. Like, I got the Richard Seymour punch and bend in my background.
But you remember Turdell Sands, dude? Like, that guy should have been a good football player.
Yeah, that's but if your name's Turd, that's kind of tough.
Like,
but
here comes Turd off the edge, bro. Like, that guy should be a good
shitting
on
the quarterback. Yeah.
And,
his touchdown celebration is just taking a shit, like a Fortnite Halo celebration, just shit at teabagging the guy. Yeah, and
I do think though that the overall like outlook on the season, like you and I, we were pretty positive going in, like our last one we did, and I think that watching them in action without a preseason, like the first half was brutal. I was pissed off, but being able to bounce back from that.
Yeah, it was great.
There's been too many games where like
it was like the Saints game. It was like
the Raiders played so good in games where they lead 14-10 at halftime and then come out flat.
Exactly.
I would rather play shitty in the first half.
Yeah.
Be like sit a little bit behind and come back and win. Like
it was like we were playing the Raiders.
Exactly. That's what it looked. I mean, the Ravens, dude. Like if we lost that game, I would have been pissed. Like I know it's a good team, but we outplayed them from the beginning of the second half all the way on. Actually, like beginning of the second quarter, really. And once they went up 14-0, that game flip-flopped and the Raiders dominated the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And so I would have been kind of mad because the Raiders really deserved to win. And if it like going all the way down to the half-yard line and that was like then Leatherwood gets a brutal false start.
That was tough.
I still think I would have ran the ball one more time and then ran like something to Waller or something.
Yeah.
But it was brutal because I'm like, man, that Leatherwood, he had a couple really brutal plays. I didn't think he played that well, but it's his first game.
It's rookie lineman. It's tough, dude. That's why it was tough for me to have like a rookie lineman right tackle. I'm a little higher on Leatherwood than I was when they drafted him. Even after that game, I'm like, okay.
Well, the couple guys we wanted aren't active right now.
Darisaw might not play this year, dude.
Darisaw, Jenkins.
Yeah, and I love I was team Darisaw. You were team Jenkins. I think
we were on both of them.
Yeah, we both liked him. And to be fair, like I still do. I mean, it's like how do you predict injury? Like I still love Derwin James. Like, okay, what am I gonna say? Oh, dude, Derwin James gets hurt all the time. It's like, yeah, right. I mean, he does, but like he's a fucking monster. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you like I'm not gonna retract my statement. Now
you can predict some of that. Like you wouldn't give him like you wouldn't give him like a $90 million like my thing is like injuries you can't predict. Like in college, like if a guy's been hurt every single year, like you can predict that to a certain extent. Like if you're like, okay, we drafted this running back who has turf toe every year.
Yeah, Marcus Lattimore.
But if you draft a guy who's had a clean injury history, So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. What's your prediction for tomorrow?
So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna predict a loss, and I'm not doing it because I'm soured on the team. I think I'm gonna say it's 20-16 Steelers the win. I think it's gonna be very similar to that Washington LA Chargers game last week. I think it's gonna be very similar, and I think we're the Washington football team in that game. But I'm not gonna be soured on it. I'll be mad at the time. I'll probably do a live reaction where I'm negative. But no, I wouldn't be surprised if they won. I don't think it's a fucking guaranteed loss. That's just my prediction. Like, yeah,
I'm going 17-13. Raiders.
There you go. All right. I like it. I can definitely see it. I expect like
a Raider defense giving up 13, bro.
I'll be, dude, even if they only give up like 16, I'll be like, what the fuck? Even if they lose, I'll be like, okay, I trust the offense. I think the offense is going to be fine. I'm okay with the offense struggling early in the season and the defense being good. Like to me, that projects better for the rest of the year. So that's fine.
You gotta look at the defenses they're opening up against. Who are we playing week 4? I can't remember.
Chargers, Monday Night Football.
Because I know it's Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Miami,
and the Chargers.
I mean, those are 4 defenses that are, so I mean, we don't have a cakewalk for this offense, and they put up 33 points against the Ravens.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like
they looked bad. And they looked bad.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They were one-dimensional again. Like I feel better about Jon Gruden putting together a top 15 to be conservative offense every year. I feel good about that more often than not. Now, if this defense can be around that 15 mark, holy shit! Like this is a playoff team. People just don't understand what that does for this team. Like it gets you. Last year, if they're top 15, it's an extra 2 to 3 wins. Yeah,
and that's on the safe side. I mean, they had one of the worst defenses of all time. Like 50% it seems like it can never get worse. You say every year I say, I don't know how this could get worse. Like they have to improve.
Yeah. And
it doesn't happen. And so, I mean, I'm happy with week 1. They still gave up 27 points, but it was, they didn't give up.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were dominated. Like they gave up 27 points, but they weren't dominated.
No, not at all.
A lot of those points came off of 3 and outs by the offense where the defense is tired.
Yeah.
And, hopefully they can start to hold teams to 20, 23, 20, and you put yourself in position to win some games. Because I would
turnovers. Yeah.
I would say we'll score more than 20 points, 16 out of 17 weeks this year.
It might be next week, might be the only one where I think they won't score that much.
My goal would be, 23 every week.
Yeah.
how could we give up less than 23 points? Because I think the offense should be able to score more than 23 points every week.
And on that note, let's get this shit over with because I'm done. I got to go eat some lunch, and you got a day to get to too. So I'm at Glen Rockney on Twitter. He's at Fattest Malin. Maybe we'll come back next week or something. Do another reaction show. Let's get it done.
If we win, we're doing a reaction show right after.
I'm down. Yeah, it's done. I'm down. Or at least exactly. I'm if they win right after, I'm on. Let's go.
Like if they lose, I'll talk to you Wednesday.
Yeah, if they lose, I'll do one like later in the night after I'm drunk and just be like, fuck the Raiders. Like I'll do that later. People like the duality of what I do.
Fire everybody.
Yeah. Yep. Park the car. Yeah, no, but anyway, so that's it. He's at Fattest Malin on Twitter. I'm at Glen Rockney. Subscribe. Thanks to everybody who joined the live stream. I will put the audio out later, and the live stream for anybody who missed it will be available on the YouTube channel. So yeah. All right. Peace, guys. Right on, brother. Have a good